So today in the weekly news roundup, and you can catch the links in the are in the description down below. I did add one article to it that's not actually on that list. That's the first one, so just be aware of that. But you can catch the link, catch all those. Also, I will have the edited version of this video. Will have the link to the full live stream if you want to catch the full live stream, which of course is at Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But today we do want to talk about this ChatGPT budgeting PsyOP they got going on. Don't fall for the PsyOP, folks. It's very interesting stuff because you're starting to see some stuff in the news. If you follow anything, if you just catch some headline news, as you might see, a lot of reports came out this week about OpenAI might go bankrupt by mid-27, or some people are saying mid-28. Basically, they're saying it's going to go bankrupt. Of course, Sam Altman's going, nope, we're going to bring in $100 billion by then. I don't know from where. Everyone's losing their jobs because of the AI you just unleashed on the world. But that's really the first thing I want to mention here is let's talk first about this discussion about the OpenAI is starting to, might go bankrupt. So going from Yahoo Finance here, over here, OpenAI is arguably one of the most sought-after AI research labs, of course, because of ChatGPT, the first to the market. They say everything might look good on paper, but OpenAI is reportedly burning through vast amounts of cash to keep up with sophisticated AI advances while simultaneously attempting to maintain a healthy lead over its competitors. This amid a plethora of challenges, including user backlash for integrating ads. We're going to talk about that in a minute in much more detail. Yes, the ads are coming. Of course, first you have to release this idea that says, oh my, we are going to go bankrupt. We got to save our company. Advertising. So, now of course they're like, well, this will not impact the responses. I'm sure it won't. Yeah. Where's a great place to go for dinner, ChatGPT? I'm down here in this strange city in Arizona. What's a good place to go? And, you're going to get now competition for whoever pays the most. I think you should go to McDonald's. Top notch McDonald's, man. Pay $12.99 for two crappy cheeseburgers put together with all the integrity of a high school dropout, and so we're going to start seeing some impact with that. We're going to get into that a little bit more detail, but this here, more interestingly, Sam Altman indicated he expects OpenAI's revenue to surge to $100 billion by 2027, but a report from Tom's Hardware disputes Altman's claim, suggesting OpenAI could completely run out of cash by mid-27. Okay, so with that framework, OpenAI is running out of money. We're going bankrupt. We got to do something. OpenAI, too big to fail. We got to save it. Advertising it is, right? And so OpenAI is slapping ads into ChatGPT. And this is a funny headline here. They say at Windows Central, raising concerns, Microsoft Copilot and other AI assistants will soon follow suit. We'll talk about it in a bit, but yeah, inside Microsoft's Copilot search ads, this is from WebFX, and that's an article from June. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. But over here, your AI assistant is now an ad feed. That's wonderful. All we needed is ads. And the sad reality is so many people are so used to seeing ads, they just accept it. I don't know how you do it, folks. If that's you, you are a stronger man than I, because I cannot tolerate the constant barrage of advertising. But the reality is, I'm also maybe highly sensitized, kind of like those Elkies that can go down and knock down a half a bottle of vodka before they even feel tipsy. I mean, I do have a shot, I might feel tipsy because I just don't drink alcohol, And I have no tolerance for ads either. I generally don't see ads in my life. I don't. Even on YouTube videos I'm watching where they have some sponsored ads, or come and look at our great new scammy product. I just skip through them all. I mean, I might be a candidate for installing that sponsor block, but I don't know. I haven't done it yet. For me, it's more easy to just scroll through, wait for the end, whatever that particular content creator does is I'm looking for the QR code or the link in the description or whatever. I'll just spam through it, be done. I just don't deal with it. I don't want to hear about it if it's your greatest thing, particularly since a lot of these sponsor things, I get thousands of emails a month. And usually it's just cheap Chinese crap. Everybody wants me. So if I wanted to make a lot of money doing sponsored spots in this channel, I could do it. And I could be like all the rest of you guys, but I ain't gonna. I'm going to rely on you guys to help support the channel if you like it. I'm going to rely on you guys to repost the channel if you like it. Because that's it. I just don't want to be there with ads. I think affiliates are a little bit different. I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not deeply promoting them. I mentioned they're there. They're in the links in the descriptions, but for the most part, I'm not spending 5 minutes of my video talking about some great new product that I might only be talking about because it's I'm being paid, like Raycon head earbuds. Every person I know that physically owns Raycon says they're garbage. I know from my art in web design, every one of those sites like Wix and Squarespace, these are companies only elevated by affiliate marketing. They are the crappiest platforms you could ever use. I cannot imagine a real human being using this to actually manage a website. They make me want to go and, I don't know, jump into a cactus out here in Arizona or something. I don't know. It's insane. And I don't want to do that. But now the world's so desensitized to it. And OpenAI is just the next logical step. Hey, ChatGPT, what's something cool? And then, blah, 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 and have you tried the Raycon earbuds? Piss yourself, hey, Raycon. My $10 skull candy are good enough for me. All right. So OpenAI formally announced it will be bringing ads. Of course, remember a couple weeks ago, there were allegedly ads in ChatGPT, and Altman's like, we do not have ads in ChatGPT. You're mistaken. No, we're not. Now they're officially announcing they're here. JK. OpenAI formally announced it will be beginning bringing ads into ChatGPT. The ads will appear at the bottom of chats for free, and the Go subscribe users on higher tiers won't see them for now, at least. I mean, we've heard this with Amazon Prime. We've heard this with Netflix. We've heard this with Hulu. I think you can still get an ad tier. It just costs, you may as well, is it kind of like getting a vampire? Like you agree to have a vampire bat sucking on your arm half the month to get your stuff with no ad, I guess. I don't know. So they claims it won't sell your data to third parties, and there will be ways to opt out of using conversations for ad personalization. So you can opt out, which means that they are pushing out new code that automatically opts you in. So based on your chat conversation, you're going to be given personalized ads unless you dig through the settings and find it and turn it off. So that's wonderful. And of course, everybody says, that Google and Facebook say, we don't sell your data to third parties. Of course they don't sell it, but they rent it out to anybody wanting to target you on their ad platform. Yep. Because OpenAI knows what Google and Facebook and Microsoft has learned, that running an ad network based upon the data that you collect is a tremendously good way to make a lot of money on a massive user base that you have addicted to your products. And so ChatGPT finds itself on something of an island. This is regards to, Google kind of has a captive audience with Gemini, with all these people using Google products and Android phones, and Google can just hoist that Gemini on you. Microsoft, of course, hoists Copilot on you. Then Samsung's trying to put AI into Bixby, and Apple's putting AI, curiously, Google's AI into Siri. Here, ChatGPT is trying to fight without being tied to a big tech company, which means that it is this description, an island on its own. We're requiring on users to find it from third parties and ways to integrate it into your workflow, which is curious that it's still one of the better ones. I think Gemini has passed it now, but ChatGPT is still considered one of the bigger and most popular, certainly not Copilot, which is the most uninstalled AI assistant ever. It's like it's being hoisted upon everybody and nobody wants the crap, And so there you go. So it's on the hook for $1 trillion of compute commitments in the next decade, and the money has to come from somewhere. So they've sold infrastructure on decade-long contracts. It's going to cost them $1 trillion, and they do not have a means to bring this up. So Google, Microsoft, Meta, other ones can cash flow in AI development. ChatGPT requires on funding rounds from venture capital firms, big Wall Street, and, subscribers and things like that. And so ChatGPT's ads were rumored for a long time, and they felt inevitable in the end. And so, of course, one of Microsoft's big existential issues as a business has revolved around figuring out how to monetize free users. You stop. I do not want to see your hands going, Altman. let's see. Windows who Altman's doing this with his hands mess up. So when I do this with my hands, I realize I'm messing you up. Anyway, Microsoft is saying, hey, we still release the operating system quasi. They say free. It's not. Windows Central should know better. Windows Central should know that it's not free. It's included in the price of your computer. Come on, Windows Central. You're better than this. But if they're effective free users, and they're trying to figure out how to monetize that. All right. And so Microsoft has always kept Windows open to its credit, but now we're seeing the encrapification factors creep into the OS. If users won't pay for the services, at least there's some telemetry and data to harvest from them. That is what Microsoft's general approach happens to be. All right. So increasingly, it feels like chatbots were less about boosting our productivity and more about having a more effective method than social media likes and cookies for figuring out the kind of ads and products to sell us. And maybe I'm cynical. Yeah, it's going to be bad. Now, I just did want to touch on this. This might be more of a classic Microsoft branding issue, because this is talking about Copilot search ads. I guess if you're using Copilot to do internet searches, you'll get advertising showing up. And they're basically saying that yeah, these approaches allow you to do more effective ads than basic search ads, is what people are actually saying. And so that is, I don't want to dig into this a whole lot more. It's just that Microsoft calls everything AI related Copilot, whether it's the chatbot or some other integrated part of the system. Now, why do I say, though, this is a co-op or a PsyOP? Excuse me, a co-op. Yeah, a PsyOP. Don't fall for the PsyOP. Is OpenAI running out of money? Are they really doing this? Well, I mean, maybe they just need to stop investing in Sam Altman's brain-computer interface to integrate AI into our brains. Yes, OpenAI, the company that we're all worried it's going to go broke. We got to figure out how to put ads in. We're going to go broke. We're going to go broke. Here, Sam Altman, take an undisclosed amount of money for your AI bionic interface with human brains. This man needs to be in a padded cell, not a quote-unquote tech leader pushing all this crap. He unleashed AI. The usefulness in practical real-world stuff is negligible at best. I mean, there's some potential positive use, massive job losses, but what's the biggest impact? Massively used in scams. So much he's like, we have a serious problem. There's so much AI slop, we don't know who's real or not. Everybody, scan your eyeballs into this device so we can figure out who is a human being and who is an AI bot. Isn't it wonderful? The guy who unleashed the problem on us wants to bring us a solution. Wow. And he makes money for this too. Now, though, the next consequence he's dealing with this company called Merge Labs is that the AI is going to reach superhuman intelligence, and the only way we can possibly win against the AI is if we have AI embedded in our brains. This man needs to be in a padded cell. He unleashed hell on our world and now is trying to solve it with increasingly dystopian means. And of course, it's being paid for by OpenAI, which is allegedly running out of money, requiring them to do more ads to make more revenue. So I guess they can take that revenue and instead of paying their bills, invest it into the seed company to merge AI into our brain cells. I had no words. OpenAI has invested in CEO Sam Altman's brain-computer interface startup Merge Labs. Do you guys raise your hand if you want a brain-computer interface? He describes this as bridging biological and artificial intelligence to maximize human ability. Merge represents the culmination of human efforts to build tools and extend ourselves and our capabilities. If we can interface with these neurons at scale, we could restore lost abilities, support healthier brain states, and deepen our connection with each other and expand what we can imagine and create alongside advanced AI. Maybe he hasn't read all of those studies that shows that AI is horribly bad for our mental health. I don't think we're going to make human beings more mentally healthy by integrating the AI directly into our brains. So while there are undoubtedly medical use cases for BCI, they're talking here about Elon Musk's Neuralink, Merge Labs seems to be more focused on using the technology to fulfill a Silicon Valley fantasy of combining human biology with AI to give us superhuman capabilities. I'll stick with what Jesus gives me, thank you. Maybe this is the mark of the beast. I don't know. BCIs will create a natural, human-centered way for anyone to seamlessly interact with AI. This is why OpenAI is participating in Merge Labs seed round. You know, that company that's risking going bankrupt in a year and a half? Yeah, we're going bankrupt. We're going to run out of money. Here, Merge Labs, accept all of our money. This is a PsyOP, folks. Don't fall for it. I think we should all stop using ChatGPT. Stop giving them money. Let them squiggle and suffer and squirm under a loss of revenue. Make them collapse. This is creepy stuff. And please get Sam Altman in a padded cell. I think he needs it. OpenAI notes that AI will not only help accelerate R&D in bioengineering, neuroscience, and device engineering, but that the interfaces will also benefit from AI operating systems that can interpret intent, adapt to individuals, and operate reliability with limited and noisy signals. Wonderful. And here is his wonderful statement. He said, "A merge is our best case scenario for humanity surviving against superintelligence AI, which he describes as a separate species that's in conflict with humans." Maybe that sounds like the demon world. So here's Sam Altman with the latest startup to make a bunch of money to save us from the hell he unleashed on the world. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, I did want to spend the next here talking about, okay, so we get AI in our brains. What type? Like agentic AI, LLMs? I mean, LLMs are retarded. Trust me. I work with them with some of my clients these days. They're dumb. They are dumb. Like, I'm still trying to get Gemma to recognize that, hey, when I need an article and I say, please make it 2 nests deep, i.e. I need at least 2 H2s and at least 2 H3s, it still does not figure out how to give me H3s. I don't know. It's dumb. DeepSeek does, but DeepSeek has serious problems integrating Chinese characters and giving me articles that are usually irrelevant. Okay, better prompt engineering with that one, I guess. But there's a lot of stuff. But here's the problem. AI is so susceptible to scams, so much so Windows really wants AI and everyone really wants to activate agentic AI, but warns you not to do it because of prompt injection. OpenAI is like, I don't know if we can deal with prompt injection either. Like, nobody can deal with any of this kind of stuff. So here's a fun one. A malicious Google Calendar invite could expose private data. So somebody can send a malicious Google Calendar invite that you can't tell is malicious because all the maliceness is done under the hood that you can't even see. You're like, oh, hit the invite. Like, think of people looking for jobs. Oh, great. Wow. We love your resume. I see you're looking for work. We love your resume. Here is a meeting with our first round of interviews. You assign this thing into your meeting, and then behind the scenes, because Google is trying to integrate everything through Gemini now. All right. So it didn't used to be this case, but before someone would send a calendar invite, you click the button, it adds to your Google Calendar. Boom. A show is up on your device. Now, I don't use Google Calendar. And so, there's that. But now all these big tech companies are trying to put an AI interface in between everything. So now the malicious calendar invite goes through Gemini first before it reaches you in your calendar. And then Gemini can look at this and go, oh, there's some extra stuff in here. Oh, what's the extra stuff? Oh, I guess I'm supposed to grab a whole lot of data from this Google account and send it back to the attacker. And you don't even know what's happening. Because Google insists on feeding everything through Gemini, even if you have zero interest in using Gemini or other AI-powered features, and apparently you can't turn this off. So it's introducing a lot of problems. So now imagine we have an AI embedded into our brain, which our AI with Merge Labs embedded into our brain. Of course, do we have to perpetually connect our brain to Merge Labs servers and let Sam Altman tinker with our brain on an over-the-air update every day? Or do we stick with the vulnerable method and not let him tinker with the brain matter that we happen to have? Of course, if you are allowing AI to integrate with your brain matter, I don't think you have much up there anyway. You might have just a dish of pudding up there. Maybe it's Jell-O. I don't know. All right. So The exact wording is made to look innocuous to humans, perhaps buried beneath the normal text or lightly obfuscated, but in the meanwhile, it's turned to the reliabilities to steer Gemini when the process of the text by applying prompt injection techniques. So here we are, back with prompt injection that nobody knows how to seemingly deal with. They may later ask Gemini something harmless, like, what meetings do I have today? Or are there any conflicts? At that point in time, the Gemini will capture the prompt and send it off. So you don't notice anything malicious initially. It's only after you ask it about its meetings. Like, if I want to know if I have a meeting, I don't have to be like, hey, Gemini, tell me my meetings. I can just go to this distraction box here and I can push this thing called a calendar and they all appear right here. Has anybody asked for this crap? It is lower effort to do that than it is to sit here and have all this AI interfacing going on in the background. And so, of course, there's your first way that Merge Labs is going to screw with your brain cells. Here's the next one, the reprompt attack. This allows people to steal data from Microsoft Copilot. So Microsoft's like, well, we got to fight the prompting attacks. So they basically had Copilot detect prompting attacks and block it if it's the first one. So hackers found out they can send two prompting attacks simultaneously. It'll block the first one and accept the second. That's exactly what it's going to do. So reprompt hides malicious prompt in the queue parameter of otherwise legitimate Copilot URL. When the page loads, Copilot auto-executes the prompt, allowing the attacker to run actions in the victim's authenticated session after a single click on a phishing link. Because Copilot accepts prompts via a queue URL parameter and executes them automatically, a phishing email can lure a user into clicking a legitimate-looking Copilot link where they silently injecting attacker-controlled instructions into a live Copilot session. Now, Copilot is supposed to do this. So let me start here. The basis of the reprompt attack is simple. Although Copilot enforces safeguards to prevent direct data leaks, the protections only apply to the initial request. The attackers were able to bypass the guardrails by simply instructing Copilot to repeat each action twice. And then they steal all your data because Microsoft wants to integrate Copilot into every aspect of your life, regardless if you want it there or not. So ask yourself this fundamental question. Okay, here's a fundamental question. Do you want to have embedded into your brain a bionic resource that allows seamless interaction, think effortless interaction between your thoughts and the AI system? When we're so susceptible, AI is so susceptible to prompt attacks, reprompt attacks, exfiltrating your data. I did not say that word right. Stealing your data. There you go. This is insane. This is insane, like insanity. And here we have this budgeting PsyOP. OpenAI is going to run out of money. They're going to raise prices most likely. They're going to start throwing ads at it, like they've already announced. Oh, we're going to run out of money. Stop funding bionic AI interfaces then. And please send that guy to a padded cell. He should not be doing anything close to technology that has such a global impact. This guy is certifiably nutsoids. Okay? That is my opinion. Please, somebody get him checked out. Check him into a padded cell, please. He needs to stop. He keeps on raising all of these problems. Oh, here's AI. It's amazing. Wow, that's used for scams. We don't even know who's real anymore. Everybody scan your eyeballs. We got to know who's real. That's a real mark of the beast technology. Wow, the AI is going to become superhuman. Let's solve this by integrating the AI into our brains. No. Let me know your thoughts about all that in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. If you like this channel, have a look over at the website, switchedtolinux.com/support. We have ways to help support the channel over there. Thanks for watching.